Hey, Nick.
You doing, KL? I believe it's just going to be you and I today. You and me, I guess. Appropriate.
Oh, my sounds too. No wonder I can't hear him. Hey, Nick.
Can you hear?
I can now. My speaker was down super low.
So today we're gonna do 2 exercises seated, and then we're gonna do floor exercises. So it's gonna be helpful
Okay.
to have a seat that you can be next to a wall, because we're gonna do some rotation into the wall. So we're gonna do seated tibial rotation. We're just gonna hold each of those for about 5 or 6 seconds, and then rotate all the way out, and then rotate back in, holding the end for about 5 or 6. And then we'll do each side, and then we'll do our torso rotation, hold for 30, and then we'll do each side. And then we're gonna go down and we're gonna do a hip bridge. So then we can have our hands out, lifting up. And we have a couple options. You can even do single leg, where you walk the thighs together and then you're just pushing and kind of hold and keep those legs side by side, but that's an option. Then we're gonna do active hold, where we're sitting up nice and tall, lifting one leg at a time. And then we're gonna go to hands and knees, opposite arm and leg lift. And then later rounds, we'll meet the elbow and knee together, but that first round we'll just go to work on the balance. And then we're gonna do face down hip rotations and lifting the thigh. So we're gonna rotate and lift. So we'll go ahead and get started.
So I have a question on the tibial rotation.
Yep.
Are you trying to keep your as much of the surface area of your foot and toes on the floor as possible, or you let it?
Exactly. And yes, so I'm trying to keep as much as my foot and toe on the ground, all the way without allowing any of it to come up. Like as I go in, those toes want to lift up and supinate a little bit more. I'm avoiding that. I'm just going to stay in that range.
Okay.
I'm just going to rotate out. And yes, trying to really dig those toes, which create more friction.
Yeah.
Which then make those muscles have to contract harder. A lot of times our body wants to let those toes lift so that we can move further because there's less resistance.
Right.
Keep that resistance. There. We'll do one more, rotate in. And so, I mean, there's all kinds of, things, like even just the couple of reps there, my toes feeling across the carpet. It's like, oh, there's a little rug burn. But that'll be something that your body even gets tolerable to the more that you do something like that, right?
Right.
So a lot of times I do this exercise, I'm not doing bare feet on the carpet. I usually on a slider, so there's less friction. So then I'm just working on mobility. Today we're focusing more on strength, utilizing that friction to our advantage. And then relax. And we'll rotate back in. And so this side just doesn't seem like it travels as far. And I have less experience with it. But, that's the side that I want to remind myself, that's the side that's going to get tutored and you're going to see a lot of improvement. So here we're holding this one for 30. And so here it's hitting the side of my upper arm, just like the back of my tricep, or about the halfway point. And it doesn't really matter which hand goes on top, but I'm going to try to remember next time to do my hands in different positions.
Okay.
So this round I'm doing with my left hand on over the top, left arm. So I'll try to remind myself to do the other arm next time, just to see, does it have a different sensation? And it's good when you're holding these positions, these isometrics, to really work on your inhale and exhale, a nice good slow inhale, maybe a 5 to 6 second inhale, equal amount of exhale. All right, now we're going to go ahead and move down to the floor for the hip bridge. We'll do 2 30-second holds, so we're just pressing up. This first round, I'm just going to do both legs. I'm going to squeeze my heels together. I'm pushing my hips up. If I want, I can engage and press harder with my hands and arms, which is going to recruit my back muscles a little bit more and my shoulder blade muscles. And then we're just going to relax, kind of march those feet. All right, here we go. So you can just do the bare minimum where you're squeezing the glutes, squeezing the cheeks together, your low back. But if you want to add a little extra, you can think about squeezing the heels together. You think about pushing the arms and hands down. Again, just like the other ones, the more that you can breathe while holding this other areas tight and with tension, the better off you're going to be. And then relax, and we'll do our seated active hold. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Here's my relaxed position. I'm kind of collapsed through my spine. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. If I have an emblem or a symbol on my chest, I want to let people see it. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to lift one leg at a time. I'm going to think about, can I get taller from my seat, through my spine, through the top of my head? Can I keep this leg straight? Scan back through. Is that leg staying as tight as it can? Is it staying straight? Am I sitting up tall through my spine? Our bodies like to go into autopilot and go to what's easiest. Then we're holding it tight. We're still trying to breathe with nice relaxed control. Facial muscles are relaxed. Again, this side seems like both sides are kind of wanting to collapse today. I'm having to put a lot of effort into just maintaining upright spine. I can think about, am I pushing equally with my glutes where my contact is making in the floor? And then relax, shake it out. All right, now we're going to the tabletop position. So here, especially if you have like wrist issues, then we might not stay here for the entire 60 seconds. You know, you might do a lesser time. So really paying attention to like, how are your wrists and shoulders? We're gonna hold it for 30, but again, it's okay to make modifications. These are recommendations and suggestions, not the law. And my back foot, my toes are just off the ground. I'm not lifting that foot up really high to get a lot of extra extension. I'm just trying to get my basically hip to almost neutral without extra extension. And I'm working my extension muscles. I'm just not having to go to that extreme range to work them. And I'm thinking about, can I get long from the bottom of my foot to the fingertips? How much space, how far apart can I get my foot and my fingertips?
Okay, which will straighten your knee. It'll lengthen the sides of your knee, that long reach.
Exactly.
Okay.
So now we're gonna lie face down, and we're going to bring that thigh out to the side. We're gonna let that foot drop across, and we're gonna lift the thigh up towards the ceiling. Taking breaks as needed. If you start to cramp, bring that leg down just a little bit. You don't have to hold that height the entire time. Really being aware of what your body's communicating to you. And then relax, knowing that we have to be the interpreter of what our body's communicating. You can use movement as a way of asking better questions. A lot of times our bodies will feel a certain way, and then we think, oh, that, you know, area of my body is irritated. But then we can do some movement stuff and find out that, oh, it actually wasn't. I just need to ask better questions. So this side, I can feel my core engaged a lot more to maintain my leg being up. All right, back to the start. Round 2. So we're back to the tibial rotation. I'm going to start with the right foot. I'm holding it in for a longer period of time. When we relax and then rotate the foot out, which I'm still trying to keep the toes down, I'm just going out just long enough to say pause or that I got out there. And there already my body automatically went on to autopilot. My big toe was trying to lift up off the ground so I could get more motion. But then at that point, it becomes like a different dance move, right? I'm no longer doing the appropriate goal, which is keep those toes down and work that range. And then relax, rotate that foot out. And then we're going to rotate back out. So this left side for me has less motion, so I can't even really get to where the toes want to lift up as much. And relax, one more.
And that's interesting how you say sensation is, it's just funny because it looks like it's going as far, but to you it feels like it's not going as far.
Yeah, exactly. So it just feels more restricted.
Uh-huh.
Now I'm going to do the right hand over the top because last time I did left. And we're going to rotate and mount. It's kind of like doing the interlacing of the fingers. It just feels like my arms are incorrect, which is good little things to do with our nervous system. Let's find out what is our go-to, what is our body's preference, and then try to do the opposite from time to time. And that's one of the other nice things about doing similar workouts, similar exercises, is then you can start seeing like, oh, what are my body's go-to? What are my body's trends that it prefers? So we're just rotating into that wall. We're holding that consistent pressure. Think about squeezing those abdominals, squeezing around the ribs. See if you can get those ribs area to get any tighter to help create more pressure going into the wall, and then relax out of it. Down to the floor for our hip bridge. Now this time I'm going to do the single leg. So I'm going to walk the thighs together, lift up, and then press, extending one leg. So again, if you want to start with the single leg and then move back to the 2 legs, you can. If you just want to stay with the 2 legs, it's up to you. This is working the core a lot more. It's obviously working the single side glute a lot more. There's a chance of cramping, so switch. I started to get to a point of cramping, which again, if you cramp, just immediately move out of the position and then start over. I was kind of hovering just underneath that cramp, where if I probably had to hold it a little bit longer, the cramp would have happened. Right. All right, we have our seated L hold. So sitting up, here's my relaxed position. I'm slouched. Now we're going to extend up in one leg. You can play around with the toe position. So my set is to pull my toes up towards my head. So recognizing that, I'm going to do this time with my toes pointed away. And I can either keep my toes aligned or I can kind of rotate the foot inward when I point. 5 seconds. When I, just all those little subtle changes. There's more things to juggle. Shake it out. Here we go. Change in size. Sit up tall, keep the spine. Toes. For some people, their set point is to point the toes. For me, that's more of a challenge. 5 seconds. Scanning back through. You're sitting up as tall as you can. Is that leg staying straight? And then relax, shake it out. So this time, with this bird dog move, when I reach out, I'm going to hold, and then I'm going to squeeze underneath, getting as much flexion in my spine as I can, and then back out. Back. And out. And one more squeeze. And out. And I'm still trying to get that distance between the fingertips and the foot. Squeeze. And when you squeeze together, you're trying to get as much spinal flexion as you can, curl up as much as you can, and then lengthen and straighten. And all right, we're going to do the face down hip extension and hip rotation. So take that thigh away. We're going to let that foot drop across, and then we're lifting the inner thigh up. And you can kind of feel the pressure across these hip bones. And the side that you're lifting, that side's probably going to put more pressure, but if you can, try to use your core and your glutes to counter that so your pressure stays equal. Bring that leg back in. We're going to take the active leg out to the side, let the foot rotate across, lift up and hold. Creates a nice internal tug of war because that leg lifting up is trying to rotate my pelvis, but I'm trying to tell my pelvis and hips to stay low to the ground as that femur and leg try to lift up. And relax. All right, round 3. And just like that, we're coming to the end, final round. All right. It's also amazing how, what I would say, they're light movements, but I would say they're extreme positions, so it's a lot of effort to hold. But how something so simple of these 6 positions, my heart rate's up. I feel my temperature increasing. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh, maybe I should have had the fan on. It's amazing what little it takes to stimulate the body. Just constantly amazed by it. All right. So like this round, this feels better this time.
Uh-huh.
That might have even happened because I was doing the toe point with that seated L, so it's like, okay, those things into consideration. Now it was more challenging for that exercise, but maybe it made this one easier to do. So I did the left hand over the first time, the right hand the second time. I'm going to go back to the right for this 3rd round, just because that was the side that my body felt less strong with. So I want to strengthen my weaknesses. But if I have a history of getting irritated with that area, maybe I would go to strengthening what I'm already strong in.
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds. Think about continuing to rotate just in case this wall gives way. I'm still going to be rotating if it moves. And then rotate back out to release. There's a lot you can do with the position of your head when holding these. It's one of the nice things about doing isometrics. It gives you a chance to scan in and see, okay, what other areas of my shoulders, elevated? Can I loosen those and drop them down to the floor? And even just those little subtleties will change how things feel. All right, so back to the hip bridge. So we're gonna lift up and hold. Again, option if you want to do both legs. If you want to do the single leg hold. And then relax, shake it out. Here we go, second 30, up and hold. So it ends up being the things that are working a little bit more are this right side abs and the left glute when I'm posting through that left side. Keep breathing. It's easy to want to hold your breath when things start to get tough, we get anxious. Try to continue to breathe and keep it calm, even though we know that there's tension generated in certain areas of the body, and relax. There's no reason for me to create unnecessary tension through my facial muscles or by holding my breath. Okay, I'm gonna go back to pointing. Stand back through. We're sitting up as tall as you can. Halfway. A little more bounciness and shaky on that side. Shake it out. Scanning back through. You're sitting as tall as you can. Arching through that back. Breathing. And relax. Shake it out. All right, so now we've got our bird dog, tabletop position. Reach. We're gonna squeeze together. And then reach long. And then just breathe under. So you can think about elbow to knee. If you can get the elbow and knee to pass each other and get even a little more flexion, then that's good as well.
So you're going to tuck your head as well in that spinal flexion?
Yeah, if you can.
Okay.
I'm not gonna like do extra amount necessarily.
Okay.
But it definitely wouldn't hurt. It's just now gravity's assisting with that.
I see. Yeah.
Motion. Like as soon as I drop my head, those neck flexors are getting assisted.
Oh, right.
I really like to do a lot of assisted extra motion. All right, next we're gonna do the face down hip rotation. Final exercise. Legs out, rotate the foot across, lifting up. So there I could feel the rotation was starting to come out of it. So it's like, okay, put closer to the back of that leg. And just scanning back. Sometimes you're not aware of it. And the only way I was aware of it is when I went to push it back down. I was like, oh, I have some room to move. I obviously didn't have room when I thought it was in. We're gonna lift up. To this side, it's a lot more challenging for me to keep that left front of the hip in contact with the floor as my leg lifts. And relax, shake it out. All right, nice.
Nice work.
Yes. Enjoy your day. And
Thanks, you too.
I'll see you definitely next week, if not before.
Okay.
All right.